Welcome to Fly Nubian Queen Network, the network for melanated people like you. I'm your host, Marye Esquire, here at thewallstreetlawyer.com, and I'm coming to you live on the last day of Black History Month. So come on in here, hit the share and subscribe button, and shout out your city. Drop your hashtag B1, because this topic tonight is a B1 topic. So everybody, please hit the share and subscribe button so that everybody can, your other brothers and sisters out there in the B1 nation and the B1 family can join us and get a whiff of what we're about to get into tonight. Because we went from a pandemic straight into a war. And I just think there's a lot to be said about mainstream media. There's a lot to be said about the state of how mainstream media is constantly pushing fear. And now that we've discovered that the pandemic is a plandemic and people aren't falling for the okie doke anymore, and everybody who was going to drink the Kool-Aid and already drank it. And then you have the rest of us who's not going to be fooled. And so with that being said, we went from that one major crisis into this war. And I just really want to touch in with my beautiful Black people out there and take a temperature on everybody and just say, how you doing? How you doing on this last day of Black History Month? And I get into what this has taught me about B1. And so, guys, I didn't even cue this up. Let me, as I cue this up, make sure you hit the share and subscribe button. Please make sure you drop your hashtag B1, because we do what? We put Black people first. And I have to be honest with you, this whole war that's going on in the Ukraine and Russia and everything in the media now is telling me that this is the number one important thing, and that there's nothing more important than this crisis that's going on right now. And everybody got to tune in, and you can't tune in to nothing else. It's everywhere you look. I mean, I don't even watch the news, but in my office we have the TV on, and they have the news media playing, and it's just on the news cycle around the clock. So it's very interesting, to say the least. And so I just want to take a temperature on a B1 family and see how has this impacted you. I'm gonna tell you how it's impacted me. It has really made me understand the importance of B1, the importance of putting Black people first. Because while everybody is trying to flee Ukraine, Russia is not just promised an attack, but has begun an attack on Ukraine, and everybody is fleeing Ukraine. They are blocking people of color from being able to lead. They are blocking Africans. They are not, they have the policy that they have actually is called Ukrainians First policy. Let me get into this story. Let's see. Let's get into this. Students fleeing the Russian invasion say they have been prevented from crossing to Poland due to a Ukrainians First policy. A Ukrainians First policy. Reports are emerging of African students trapped in Ukraine who say they are being discriminated against as they try to flee amid Russia's invasion. Black people are allegedly being prevented from boarding trains. Allegedly. See, that's what ticked me off. We have video evidence. Okay, we have video footage thanks to civilian journalism. Everybody on the ground with their phones with the HD camera right in the palm of their hand. And so this is not allegations. We can visibly see Black people being denied the ability to leave Ukraine under the Ukrainians First policy. We have firsthand accounts of African people saying they themselves are being denied. This is a firsthand testimony. definitely admissible in a court of law, right? Hearsay is not admissible. Hearsay would be a statement made by someone other than the declarant, the person making the statement. Offered in court or trial to prove the truth of the matter asserted. Okay, I butchered that. But let me run that back. A hearsay is a statement made by someone other than the declarant, offered in court or trial to prove the truth of the matter asserted. Oh, that girl good. I remember that all the way from law school. Yes. Hearsay is not admissible in court. But this is people giving their first-hand testimony. First-hand testimony is supreme testimony and is definitely admissible in a court of law. So for them to say in this article that Black people are allegedly being prevented from boarding trains and buses, taking people to the borders, you can just tell that it's biased. And that is why I'm so grateful to be a part of this platform that put out our own information. We put out our own media. This is a media outlet made for a football media outlet, an outlet made for us, by us. And I'm just grateful to be a host here, because everywhere else we're getting the news and you can read, you can hear the slant. You can hear the slant. Anyway, but I digress. Black people are allegedly being prevented from boarding trains and buses taking people to the borders, and some are not being permitted to cross into other countries, according to sources speaking to Insider and social media reports. Okay. Thousands of African students live in Ukraine to study medicine and other technical fields at affordable prices. Karine Sky, a student at Ukraine who helped coordinate escape routes for hundreds of African students trapped in the country, modern-day Harriet Tubman, told Insider that some have struggled to get on buses heading to the border. Some people have gone to get buses, but they're not allowing Black people basically onto the buses. They're prioritizing Ukrainians. That's what they say, Sky said. One African student who reached the Ukraine-Poland border wrote on Twitter that Ukrainian police and army were refusing to let Africans cross. He shared a video that showed authorities threatening to shoot them. I'm going to play this video. Watch how they are threatening to shoot us. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Watch how they are threatening to shoot us. We are currently at the Ukraine-Poland border. Their police and army refuse to let Africans cross. They only allow Ukrainian. Some have slept here for 2 days under the scorching cold weather, while many have gone back to, I can't pronounce that. We are students. You can hear them say we are students. Take out your phones. He has his gun out. Pointing at him.
Everybody go down. You are dead of cold. We've been here for 3 days. We died of cold. This is unfair. This is unfair.
Okay, I'm not going to play that anymore because I have so much other stuff to play that was very interesting for me. So what's been really interesting too is the white fragility, from my mind, that has emerged. That has always been there, but it's definitely emerged. The white fragility, and what I mean by that is that Black people, people of color, we are expected to suffer. They expect us to suffer. They expect us to be victimized and on the wrong side of the history, on the wrong side of a war. They expect that for people of color. And as a black woman, that's why we have denounced this whole strong black woman, badge of honor. I don't tote that badge of honor. I am a freaking flower, okay? I am delicate. And I demand that. And so it's very interesting to me that but when we suffer, we just take it in stride. I've learned how to turn problems into opportunities. It's definitely something I talk about. The law of adversity in my book, blackwallstreet.com, how to build a thriving black business using the laws of the universe, the law of adversity. So that's what I've learned how to do, because we've had to, as a minority, as a black woman, I've endured so much. But it is interesting that they don't expect that this is, and so you hear a lot of the commentators and a lot of the people who are doing the media, what they keep saying is, I can't believe this is happening to a European country. I cannot believe that this is happening to a white country. These are blue-eyed, someone says that these are blue-eyed, blonde-haired white people. How can this be happening to them? So I want you to just listen to this for yourself, because this is more than a notion for me.
It's very emotional for me, because I see European people with blue eyes and blonde hair being killed, children being killed every day with Putin's missiles and his helicopters and his rockets.
And so, of course, I understand and respect.
I'm sorry.
We are in the 21st century. We are in a European city, and we have cruise missile fire as though we're in Iraq or Afghanistan. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
And this is not a developing third world nation. This is Europe.
It's Robert Moore here.
Now the unthinkable has happened to them. And this is not a developing third world nation. This is Europe.
This is Europe, for crying out.
People were coming into Poland in just the last 24 hours. But you look what happened in the last refugee crisis in Europe back in 2015. Poland was one of the EU countries that, was hesitant to take in refugees. Talk about what has changed and a different position now. Yeah, well, just to put it bluntly, these are not refugees from Syria. These are refugees from neighboring Ukraine. I mean, that, quite frankly, is part of it. These are Christians, they're white, they're very similar to people who live. 15,000 people were coming into Poland in just the last 24 hours. But you look what happened in the last refugee crisis in Europe back in 2015. Poland was one of the EU countries that, was hesitant to take in refugees. Talk about what has changed and a different position now. Yeah, well, just to put it bluntly, these are not refugees from Syria. These are refugees from neighboring Ukraine. I mean, that, quite frankly, is part of it. These are Christians, they're white, they're very similar to people who live in 15,000.
I had to play that twice because that was very shocking to me. They're Christian, they're white. So basically, she's asked a question: what changed in Poland's refugee policy? Back when it was Syria, they did not allow Syrians to come over as refugees. And her response is basically, these are not refugees from Syria. These are refugees from Ukraine. They're Christians. They're white. They're very similar to us. Wow. Wow.
Parce que ça va être une question importante. Et on parle pas là de Syriens qui fuient les bombardements du régime syrien sous.
We're talking about Europeans. We're talking about Europeans. It's just, I just can't.
Out in bomb shelters. But this isn't a place, with all due respect, like Iraq or Afghanistan, that has seen conflict raging for decades. This is a relatively civilized, relatively European, I have to choose those words carefully too, city where you wouldn't expect that or hope that it's going to happen.
I'm at a loss for words. I don't know about you, but this, if you were not B1 before, if you were not B1 before the Ukrainian and Russia war, if you were on the fence about wanting to put your back into it, one of those sayings that we say in the Black community, you know, if you're gonna do it, put your back into it. If you're gonna do it, put your, if you've been someone who's been on the fence about putting your back into the issues of getting behind Black people and being B1 and putting Black people first, I think that this is a bold and a bright, you know, a warning sign, a red flag, telling you what you should be doing. United we stand, divided we fall. I don't even know if I blame them. I don't blame them on a level, because I mean, it just makes sense that people look out and take care of people that look like them. And I expect that of everybody. The only issue that we have with Black people is that we're not doing that. We're always the first ones to jump to, you know, save Ukraine and you know, stand behind everybody else's movement. But no one really stands in solidarity with us. And so anyway, Young Thug wants to help Africans get out of Ukraine. I thought this was great, so I wanted to highlight this as well. If some of my rap brothers are in, I'm willing to help Africans get out of Ukraine. However, I can sense they're not letting us pass. And this is the kind of thinking that how we think in B1, and I didn't want to just be negative about it and not show some highlight. So I wanted to highlight this young thugger who is doing a wonderful thing and has a mind and his heart is in the right place. And I'm glad that he put this on the pedestal. Love to see it. There have also been numerous media reports of African immigrants struggling to get across borders and out of Ukraine due to the Ukrainians first policy. Many of those struggling to escape are African students who went to study in Ukraine for its affordable education. Young Thug shared his support for those African refugees trapped in Ukraine on his Instagram stories yesterday, writing, if some of my rap brothers are in, I'm willing to help Africans get out of Ukraine. However, I can sense they are not letting us pass. Whoever holds the info for these movements, please contact me ASAP. I'm ready. In keeping with positivity, right? We can't talk about stuff if we're not going to be solution oriented. And so I did, let me go to her page, because there was she had some stuff up here. Current exits available for leaving for Africans. All right. Shout out to Amanda Seals. You know me, I'm always optimistic and positively supporting my Black people who are doing the right thing. If you be one, then I'm down with you. So we got some current exits. Let's see what it says. Hungry. This is number 1. So make sure you hit the share and subscribe button, guys, because I'm sharing some more information that is going around other exits. You can kind of, now we are able to communicate and be a chain, a link and chain, and pass on information through the use of social media, which is how we've actually know that there are Africans struggling to get out of Ukraine, is thanks to social media, because it sure is not being reported on by the mainstream media. I keep doing that. Let me click back in here. Current exits available. That's one. Hungary. We got one in Poland. Okay. Please share. We have one in Slovakia. I can't imagine what they're going through. Romania. There is, I just can't imagine what my people are going through. But once again, this is what I've learned. This is what I've learned for Black History 2022. It's strengthened my resolve to be more Black power, to be more to focus on B1 even more, to be that much more about my Black community and Black power and B1 and putting my people and the needs of Black people first, servicing Black business owners, not being ashamed to say I've started this company, Black Wall Street, to serve just Black entrepreneurs and Black entrepreneurs only. That is, I'm proud to say that. And I'm glad to be a part of this movement where we are putting Black people first. And if more of us continue to put Black people first and have a Black one only philosophy, then as what they say, you build it, they will come. And so that's just my position on it. This war has taught, we have always been in war. We have all Black people are always at war with someone, because they're always trying to take from us and take us from us, and trying to take our ideas, take our businesses, take our equity, take our intellectual property, take our physical property, our persons. We have always endured at the, and that's because we're the first and the finest. That's because to whom, because as I tell people, when you have an anointed walk is one of the most difficult walks to walk, because what it takes to make you is a lot of pressure. And that pressure is that adversity. And so we are a soulful people. We are a rich people, and birthed everyone else. And they know this. And I think that they fear the day that we wake up and know who we are. That's what they're afraid of. Someone, okay, let's see what we got out here. Ben Nuttall, Black people are the most hated people on the planet. I like to think, from someone who Drake taught me what jealousy was. And jealousy is love mixed with hate. And I honestly believe that is the type of hate that we actually endure from other people. The kind of hate that we actually endure is not the kind of hate where they really just hate us. It's like they hate you because they ain't you. And the moment you know who you really are, none of this will faze you. So Derek Johnson, so heartbreaking. Thank you for joining us tonight. Zelma Owens, shout out to Zelma Owens, #B1, #B1. We got Antonio Jackson. Hey, baby girl, B1. Hi. Hey, Mr. Jackson. Hey, Miss Parker. We got Marcy Hollywood Jr. We got Kansas City in the house. Kansas City in the house. We're all we got. And I believe in taking problems and turning problems into opportunities. That is my specialty. I can really specialize in turning a problem into an opportunity. And what this problem of this war and watching my people be suffering at the hands of other people like this, it really makes me want to hunker down on this B1 philosophy and really drill it home to my people and use it as an example of why we have to be B1, because who else is going to put you first? Everybody else. And look, I think it makes perfect sense. When you are on an airplane and the airplane is about to go down, they tell you, you get the instruction. For those of you who travel frequently, you understand. What do they tell you? If the plane goes down and you have to put on your oxygen mask, put on your mask first. You put on your mask before you put on someone else's mask. And so on some level, I feel like that's what they're doing. I don't know if, they're taking care of their people first. They are making sure the Ukrainian bloodline survives this Russian war. They are making sure that the Ukrainian people are cared for. The Ukrainian men are looking out for the Ukrainian women and children and men and each other. And so I don't know if I see anything wrong with that. The only problem that we have that makes that so wrong is that we are always on the weaker side and the wrong side of the situation. There should be some a black train or some black people in some type of authority with the ability to look out for each other. That is why we have a duty. You really do have a duty to start and build a successful Black-owned business, not just for you and your generation and your lifetime, but for the generations of your own bloodline to go further as well as the generation of bloodlines of everyone else who will benefit from that business that you start. That's the entire Black community. And if you make a product, you know, that becomes not just a national thing but global, you have the ability to impact, uplift, and change the world through entrepreneurship. So this is why we, in entrepreneurship, as well as obtaining positions of power, we also have a duty to seek out and obtain positions of power in government, from the very top all the way down to local government jobs, like just your average police officer and people who work in the fire department. All across the board, we have a duty to strategically get into those positions of power so that we can better serve one another, so we can look out for our own. That is the mission of B1. That is what we're talking about. And I think we need to, you know, maybe make a pledge or a real formal alliance. It's kind of like when you think about Freemasons. When the Freemason gets stopped by a police officer and the police officer knows he's a Mason, he gets a pass and a, you know, they look out for their own. And that's just survival, people. And everybody is out here surviving and then thriving because they're looking out for each other, looking out for themselves, looking out for the people that look like them. And it's time that we jump on that same bandwagon and do the same. Mary Dean Esquire here at thewallstreetlawyer.com. If you're looking to grow your business, please check out flynubianbusiness.com. If you're looking to better manage your money, please check out flynubianmoney.com. And if you're looking to grow your business on Black Wall Street, understanding your legal, insurance, financial, and tax systems that you need to lift your Black business to the next level, please check it out at blackwallstreet.com. Have a good night.